Well, everyone, iOS 16.1 just officially came out, so let's go and take a look at it on the iPhone 8 Plus. Now, this specific update was actually one of the bigger updates so far on iOS 16. I mean, it's the first point X update, and I'm really happy to see that. Now, unfortunately, it looks like I wasn't able to screenshot the specific change log, but on all my other devices, I was able to see it, and it does bring a couple cool amount of features, which is really cool. But a big, massive thing to keep in mind is that this is a probably one of the more stable versions of iOS right now on iOS 16. So if you're on 16, I would probably recommend updating. Now, one of the cool features here is that we now actually have iCloud shared photo library. So this is a cool little option. If you're into this kind of stuff, then you can go ahead and enable it. We've already had shared albums, but now having this little cool feature is awesome, and I'm really happy this is brought over. But one of my favorite things within this update is actually within live notifications. So now what we have basically before, and this was introduced with the iOS 16 keynote, we have the ability of getting live notifications within third-party apps. So basically, if we're watching like a basketball game or a football game on some other application, instead of being notified, like constantly getting tons of different notifications and bothering us when somebody scores a touchdown or whatever the case is, we'll basically get one notification if we want it, and it'll be nice looking from what I've seen, and it'll just keep updating itself. And so you can check up on it whenever you want to. And the same thing goes for if you're getting an Uber or a Lyft or tons of other use cases. You can just check that notification to see where it's at instead of having to open up the application or whatever that else you're doing. And that's another really cool thing that we have within this specific phone. Now, another thing we have is actually particularly for the reachability for the 14 Pro. So if you're using something like the iPhone 14 Pro, you'll basically now have the ability of using reachability within there on your iPhone. So it'll go ahead and you could use reachability before, but now you can use a dynamic island within reachability, which I think is actually really cool. Now, finally, one of my favorite things and something I'm going to test out is actually a new battery option. So what we have here is this new clean energy charging option, which I think is very interesting. So if you go into settings, if you go and click on battery, and if you go and click on battery health and charging, you'll now have this clean energy charging option, which should theoretically, from what's stated here, reduce your carbon footprint. So I think that's a really cool feature. We're going to test this and kind of see what's going on here, but I think that's going to be a really awesome thing. And honestly, I can't wait to see what happens in the future with this, but I will be testing to see how this affects battery health, how this affects charging times and other things like that. So I guess we're going to have to kind of see what happens here too. But in terms of that, that kind of covers it up. Should you install iOS 16 on your, or 16.1 on your 8 Plus? I will probably say, of course, if you're on iOS 16 already, then it's a no-brainer. Just go ahead and install this version of software. However, if you're on 15, I would probably recommend staying there. I'm still on iOS 15 on my main device, and I have not updated. I don't really plan on doing it probably soon, but the choice is yours, and that kind of covers up this update. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that means so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.